Indicators here. Happy weekend, happy weekend. I'm always sad on the weekends because I don't get to trade unless I trade some crypto. So I'm always looking forward to Monday. But weekends are an awesome time for us to look back and see how our Maverick indicators would have kept us on the right side of the tracks. We had a banger of a week. Go back, look at our YouTube channel. I believe we posted trades at least every single day, trading futures, and it was just a tremendously awesome week. Just crushed it using the Maverick indicators. So in saying all that, a lot of times we do different looks because a lot of you guys are trading different strategies, different times of day. So here's what I want to do today. I want to look to make $750 per day. We're going to look at this past week and we're going to try and make $750 per day. But what I want to do is I don't want to trade the open because we focus a lot of times on the open. And I did a video a couple weeks back where I showed how the Maverick indicators, you can use them on all sorts of sessions. And many of you guys work 9 to 5. You can't trade the market open. You know, if you work a 9 to 5, shoot, Wall Street opens 30 minutes into your shift. So what I want to show is, and I got a tremendous amount of good feedback from you guys, is you like seeing nighttime trading and how the Maverick indicators could bring you edge then, you know? So the market reopens at 6 p.m., the futures market. So we're going to look at that. And we're only going to look at one indicator, which is the Maverick AI Pro, which is coloring your candles like a heat map to the data of the buying and the selling. It's pretty awesome, okay? So we're literally only going to use one of our indicators. But before we do that, we jump onto the charts and we look to make $750. We're gonna go Sunday through Thursday night. But before we do that and we look to make $750 a day, I wanted to give you a quick look at all our indicators because what we talk about every single day is something called stacking probability. Because what happens is a lot of times people just go off of one indicator and then they get stopped out and they're wondering what happened. What we do is we look at a total body of evidence. Meaning, and I'll give you a couple of examples here. So if we look right here where we are, we have a sell signal from the Maverick signals. Okay, ooh, I like that. We got a sell signal. That's pretty cool. That means probably sell, okay? We're below the blue line. We like to go short when price is below the blue line. Let me clean this up real quick. We like to go short when price is below the blue line. We like to go long when price is above the blue line. So we're stacking this body of evidence. We have a sell signal. Price is below the blue line, okay? Okay, what else do we have? Okay, we have hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. The Maverick AI Pro colors your candles to the data, not to price and direction. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. Bright green, here's a great example. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle, and hot pink is your strongest downside data candle. By the way, check out this background. Bulls are in control, bears are in control. I love the background on this. I just love it, okay? So we're stacking probability. So let's say we were going to go short here. Well, what do you have in your arsenal? Well, first things first, you got a sell signal. Second thing, price is below the blue line. Third thing, all 5 traders, think of T1 through T5 as traders, their algorithms, are voting across 6 time frames and they're all bearish. So think about how powerful that would be if I put you in the room with 5 other traders and they were telling you their vote. You all have a completely different style. They're all looking for different things. Their trading styles are all different. And they're casting a vote every single tick across 6 time frames. Would that give you confidence to go short here if all 5 traders were voting bearish across 6 time frames? Would that give you confidence to go short if you had hot pink candles as well? If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Would it also give you confidence if I told you we like to go short when price is below the blue line? Yeah. And then Maverick trenders pegged to the top. When this line down here is pegged to the top, we call these flat tops. We call these flat tops. See how it's just flattening out? And that is the Maverick trender. It's telling you massive strength and momentum to the downside. And you get this downtrend label. See this downtrend label? So the Maverick trender was pegged from here all the way down to about here. What a move that was just from the Maverick trender. On top of that, you had hot pink candles. On top of that, you're below the blue line. On top of that, all 5 traders were voting bearish across 6 time frames. And you had a sell signal up here. So see how we stack probability? And then this is just one of my favorite indicators of all time, the Maverick Radar, which is going through your entire checklist of everything we look for from our Maverick indicators. And it gives you a score of each one of these things. It's going to score each one of them. And then it'll give you an overall score. And right here, it's giving an A+ setup to the downside. How powerful would it be if you had an assistant, we call this the ultimate trading assistant, on your charts, going through your entire checklist. Again, I say all the time, how many times have you gotten into a trade, you thought you had it right, you go heavy or whatever, you're like, this is it, we're getting in this trade. You get stopped out, you go back and you think to yourself, what was I thinking? What did I even see here? Well, let the Maverick Radar, the ultimate trading assistant, tell you if you even have a setup here. Unbelievable. And then finally, we have the Maverick zones, which you'll see. I will add these to our charts on the next, when we go through the days. Maverick zones auto draws your support and resistance zones by probability. And then it gives you a score on how likely prices to come down and break or come down and hold. Okay, it's very, very cool, very revolutionary if you ask me. Pretty awesome. So anyway, wanted to give you a look at all our indicators that come in the Ultimate Edge bundle, except for the Maverick zones, and then we'll jump on TradingView because, like I said, it has a nice, like, clean control system to go candle by candle. We're gonna look to make $750 every single day of this past week. At night, at market, reopen, what some call the Asian session at 6 p.m. All right, let's jump over to TradingView. All right, so here we are on TradingView, and I like to do a lot of recaps on TradingView. Again, all the indicators in the Ultimate Edge bundle work on NinjaTrader and TradingView, but TradingView just has this nice, neat little playback control down here, which just makes it really easy to click through the candles. So here are the rules of engagement today. Here's what we're going to look to do. So we're going to look to make $750 per day, and we're going to trade the 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time open. I always call it the reopen, but a lot of people call it the Asian session, whatever you want. But we're going to take starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a lot of feedback from you guys. Hey, I work, a 9 to 5 market opens essentially 30 minutes into my shift. I need to trade sometimes at night. Do the Maverick indicators work at night? And the answer is absolutely they do. So we're going to be looking to make $750 per day. Sunday, we're going to go Sunday through Thursday because obviously the market's not open on Friday night. And the market reopens at Sunday night from when it closed on Friday. So we're going to go Sunday night through Thursday night. We're going to play the open. And all we have to do is, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wait at least 2 candles in, because we know when the market opens again, whether it's 9:30 in the morning or whether it's 6 p.m. at night, everybody jumps in, right? It's a gamble to get into that very first candle. So we're not going to do that. We're going to wait 2 candles to see what's happening. And we're going to take our first strongest, and I'll explain this in a second, data candle that closes in the direction. And I'll explain what this means, but essentially what I showed you on NinjaTrader is bright green is our strongest upside data candle. Here's bright green. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. And hot pink is our strongest downside data candle. So it has to either be bright green or hot pink. And what do I mean by it must close in that direction? Well, because I'm clicking bar by bar, we might have, let's say, a green candle that actually closes down because I'm clicking through each, but we're not going to be watching it live. We're going to be going candle by candle. Oh, and there, I already clicked through for our first opening candle. So we might as well start taking these trades. All right, we're going to be looking to make $750 per day, and I'll walk you through this. Very, very simple, okay? All right, so let's go here. Let's go here. All right, so here is your first candle, and we got what? A hot pink candle. If you see pink, it will most likely sink, but we're gonna reserve judgment here because this is our very first candle. Here's our second candle, but it closed up, okay? So this is a hot pink candle, but it closed up. So we can't take this candle because it closed up, all right? We're just going candle by candle. All right. Okay, now we got a gray candle. We do not get into gray candles. We do not get into gray candles. Doji candle. A lot of up confidence arrows, 2 up confidence arrows. That's very interesting. All right, let's go to the next one. Green, closed down. Green, closed up. We want bright green though. We want our strongest upside data candle or strongest downside data candle in the direction. Here's our first one right here. This is your first one, okay? Right here. So we're going to take it. We're going to buy, okay? For all my folks that own the Maverick indicators, we're using just the default settings. Just the default settings. And what I say, we're going to make $750. $750. We're going to do a 1-to-1. Okay? All right, great. So if you know, you know, we got to hit this green line before we hit this orange line. And this is our price target up here. We want to make $750. Okay? So let's go candle by candle. Ooh, we got a buy signal right here. I love seeing the buy signal. Second bright green candle, our strongest upside data candle. Remember, the Maverick AI Pro is coloring your candles like a heat map. It's coloring your candles like a heat map. All right, so we're up $225. See what the next candle brings us. All right, kind of stale. Another stale candle. How many folks are getting out right now? Because essentially you've just had 2 red candles. If the Maverick AI Pro was not on, these would be 2 red candles. Okay, but we're going to stick in because we have bright green candles, which says rich upside data. Okay, ooh, confidence arrow. Love seeing that. We got a confidence arrow going on right there. Love it. Okay, coming up. Pretty slow at night, especially ES, which is totally normal. Okay, so we're going a little sideways. Okay, but we have bright green candles coming back down. Okay, so how many people got out on this red candle? But you have had bright green candles this entire time, which tells us underneath the hood there's rich upside data. Okay, even though it's moving slow as molasses, but this is nighttime with ES. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to speed up my clicking here so we can see what happens with this trade. Boom, there you go. There's your $750. We had very little to zero drawdown on this trade, okay? There's your $750 on the P&L. Beautiful, beautiful. And what did we have? We had bright green candles pretty much this entire time. You had a buy signal here, and even when you were sideways, what did you have? You had bright green candles. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Up confidence arrow, you just broke through. Yeah, and it continues to the upside. Beautiful. All right, cool. So we made $750 on Sunday. Let's look at Monday. All right, here we are on Monday. Now let me turn on my Maverick zones. Now we're still going to stick to the same kind of guidelines that we have by going for our first strongest downside data candle in that direction. But I want to show you how cool the zones is as we take these trades. You got 93 right here. Strong. This is like a brick wall zone. Your Maverick zones is auto drawing your support and resistance zones. Pretty stinking cool. And it's going to be out on NinjaTrader in about 10 or so days, and it's already out on TradingView. But all our indicators work on NinjaTrader and TradingView in the Ultimate Edge bundle. All right, so market is about to open right here. It's about to close, actually. There we go. All right, so this is your 6 o'clock. So this is your first candle, which is your strongest downside data candle. And look at this. Woo! Woo! Anything less than 90% is game for breaking. This is a 96. This is like a brick wall right here. Massive brick wall auto-drawn by your support and resistance, the Maverick zones. All right, cool. So let me get rid of my drawings here. All right, so that's our first candle. This is our second candle, and I think it closed up. Let me see here. I think it closed up. Let me just double check that. Want to make sure. Okay, so first candle, second candle. Nope, closed down. So we can take this. All right, so we're going to look for 750. I want to make sure we're following the rules. 750, and we're going to do a 1-to-1. All right, cool. So we are bearish. We are bearish, right? Okay, and price a lot of times likes to move away from the stronger zone. You saw we had like a 96% score. That is like a brick wall. Price a lot of times likes to move away from the strongest zone, okay? All right, so let's see where we're gonna go here. Ooh, down confidence arrow. We're up about $100. We're up about $100, and I would be most likely targeting, if I was trading this next zone, All right, so let's click. Here we go. All right, we just made another $25. Oh, sell signal. Let's go. Sell signal from the Maverick signals. This isn't part, this is what we look for every day when we're trading, but this is in part, we're just trying to show how amazing the Maverick AI Pro is. But man, I love seeing a sell signal. I love having hot pink candles. This is very beautiful, and we're heading towards a weaker zone from a very strong zone. So this is very, very cool. All right, here we go. Woo, we're up $500. I got a down confidence arrow, Okay, getting a little hung up on this zone, absolutely normal. Because you have this zone that's already pre-drawn. Look at this thing. I mean, it literally just, you know, it's awesome. Okay, all right, let's see. Are we gonna get a little, boom, there you go. There's your push, there's what you needed, $750 on the day. Little to zero heat. I don't think we took any heat on that trade whatsoever. Took it over here and it just went straight down away from your stronger zone. And then now, here you go. You got a 62% chance of holding. Anything less than 90% is a pretty weak zone. So pretty cool there. So all right, so we won Sunday night. We won Monday night. Let's take a look at Tuesday. All right, here's Tuesday. Here's where the market is opening right here. This is your market open right here. And you're coming off of a 90 score. Woo, pretty strong score. But we don't get into gray candles, so this doesn't matter. We're looking for our strongest upside or downside data candle in the direction, right? So really simple. So let's see what the next candle brings us. That one was gray. Oh, we do not get into gray candles, folks. Another gray candle. A lot of times people say, hey, how do I stay out of chop? How do I stay out of chop? Don't get into gray candles. 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 Like, just don't do. The Maverick AI Pro colors your candles to the data underneath the hood, not to price and direction. Don't get into gray candles, okay? Just don't do it. All right, here we go. All right, now we got a red candle, second strongest downside data candle. That's very interesting, but it's heading up. So let's see what's going to happen here. Market is sussing itself out. Looks like we're starting to turn around. Bouncing off the Maverick guide maybe. Let's see. We're waiting for our strongest upside or downside data candle. But here's what I'm seeing right here. 92% score. Anything greater than 90 is like a brick wall. And a lot of times price likes to move away from the strongest zone. Price likes to move away from the strongest zone. So we're gonna see, you have a decently strong zone here. Maybe we'll just get stuck in between these two zones, but you're having rich downside data. So let's see. Let's see where this sucker goes. Okay, so here is your strongest downside data. I should have just clicked the mouse and gone to the next one. But we had a 90 score up here. The Maverick Zones was saying, hey, this is a brick wall. Price likes to move a lot of times away from the brick walls. And look at this thing. Beautiful, beautiful. We got a 66% chance of holding. Remember, anything under 90% is fair game for breaking. But again, we're just doing simple rules. We're taking a trade when we get our strongest downside data candle from the Maverick AI Pro. Okay, this is just one of the indicators in the Ultimate Edge bundle. All right, so we're gonna sell here. We're gonna take profit. I had my pen thing on. Let's see here, 750. Okay, 750, beautiful. All right, so we're gonna look to make 750 bucks. We got our strongest downside data candle. We're coming away from one of our strongest zones. We're moving into a very weak zone. So let's see what price does. Okay, got a down confidence arrow. That's just to let me know, hey buddy, you're moving in the right direction, and we are up a whopping $50. We are up a whopping $50. Let me remove my drawings here so I don't keep it messy. All right, now we're up a whopping $75. Market moves, okay, there you go. All right, so what did we know way back here when price was going sideways? We had rich downside data. Red is your second strongest downside data candle. Then we got our hot pink candles, which is our strongest downside data candle. On top of that, we had like a 90-something% score here, and we know price likes to move away from the strongest zone. This is edge, folks, and we're not even talking about our Maverick trender down here, which is literally pegged right here and giving you a downtrend label. I don't even have my Maverick radar, which is the ultimate trading assistant that we normally keep on the screen, which says, no, you don't have a trade, or hey, you have a B setup, or it tells you, yes, you have an A plus setup to the upside or the downside. I mean, this is like, we're using literally one indicator to trade this. And we have now won Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. Now let's go to Wednesday night. All right, so here we are on Wednesday. Just want to point out I had a beautiful sell signal here, and this thing just dumped into the end of day. Oh, it was about 3:15. This thing just dumped. Beautiful sell signal, hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Lots of confidence arrows. Very cool stuff here. All right, so market's about to open at 6 p.m. So here is your open right here, okay? So we had a hot pink candle, our strongest downside data candle, but it's moving up. We said we'd wait out the first, couple of candles of the market opening. We're not here to gamble. We want to see where the market's going to go. All right, so we're kind of choppy here, right? We're just going sideways, but what do we have? We have hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. All right. So first candle, second candle, third candle, the rules are the rules. This is a hot pink candle to the downside. You close down. So we're going to take a short here. Even though we're going sideways, we're going to take a short. Okay. So 750, because we have hot pink, rich downside data. And here we go. You got a weak score. Anything under 90% is fair game for breaking. And then we would target the next zone. Okay, it's the Maverick zones. All right, so let's see where this is going to go. Beautiful. So you already broke through that zone. Next zone is populated down here. We're up about 550 bucks on the first candle. Love this. Look at all these confidence arrows. So stinking cool. All right, cool. So let's go to the next candle. We're up 700. Boom. There we go. All right. So 750 bucks right there. We just hit our goal for the day. Little to zero heat. Again, this is another day of little to zero heat. Absolutely beautiful. Now you have a strong zone down here, so I wouldn't try and get greedy and I'm gonna make $10,000. This thing's like a brick wall. Anything greater than 90%, okay, is like a brick wall, and that's what this sucker is right down here. All right, so we won Sunday, we won Monday, we won Tuesday night, and we won Wednesday night. Let's check out Thursday night. All right, so here is Thursday. This is your market close, right? This is your market close at 4:55 for the futures markets. And now the next candle is going to be the market reopen at 6 p.m. Okay. All right, so we got a hot pink candle. We have a down confidence arrow. And you have a very strong brick wall up here. A lot of times price likes to move away from the strongest zone, okay, which is 94 is a pretty darn strong zone. But we're holding judgment because this is just the first candle of market reopening. We don't know. Everybody's piling in, the orders, everything's firing back up, right? So let's see. We got to wait for at least the first 2 candles. All right, so this next candle is hot pink, which is great, but guess what? It closed up. So we want to make sure that this thing is there you go. Okay. So now this thing is heading to the downside. Could you have gotten in at the close here? Yeah, but we just want to make sure. Would you have gotten a better entry than I'm going to get right now? Yes, but it closed upward and I want to make sure. We also got this down confidence arrow. So I'm feeling good about this. Okay. This is the first downside data candle. Strongest downside data candle in that direction. So we're going to take this guy. We're going to sell. We're going to take our profits. 750. Oh, we got ways to go. I'm just stretched out here. 750, 750. All right, folks, here we go. So again, just want to point out, look at this score, 98%. You rarely see 98% scores. That's pretty high. That's almost 100%. This thing is like a brick wall. Why am I pointing that out? Because again, price likes to move away from the strongest zone a lot of times. Not every time. There's nothing that happens every time, right? But especially in the market. But I mean, that's pretty good. All right, so we got downtrend label down here, and we are heading away from the strongest zone. But let's see where price goes. Got a down confidence arrow, taking a little heat, 50 bucks, big deal. All right, but yeah, downside data. How many people got out on this candle, freaking out? Oh my gosh, we're taking heat. Let's get it now. Who cares? You have hot pink candles. You know, if you see pink, it will most likely sink. You can see underneath the hood of the severity of the data. Now we have a 73 score. And like these 90 scores are chasing you. And again, price likes to move away from your strongest zone. All right. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we're getting hung up on this zone. Look at the friction right here. It literally stopped on this zone and closed. So that's okay. We knew the zone was there. Let me get my drawings out of the way. Oh, sell signal. Heck yeah. So how interesting is this? You just got a sell signal, but the candle just closed up. You would have now 2 green candles. 2 green candles in a row, and our Maverick signals is saying, sell, buddy, you better sell. Okay, and we have hot pink candles to the downside. Okay, let's see. It's normal for you to get hung up on these zones here. I'm going to speed this sucker up here. Okay, so now we're bouncing up. This is a zone-to-zone game. Oh, all right, sorry. We just hit it. So look at this. How stinking cool is this if you have the Maverick zones? We broke through, you came down, you got hung up. You already knew this zone was here, it auto draws. And then you came up, and then you hit here, this zone, pretty much to the dot, and then it pushed down. It's crazy. And now look where it stopped, pretty much. I mean, you wick below it, but it literally just like stopped at this zone. Okay? Pretty stinking cool. And that weak zone, we're going to break to the downside. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. This sell signal gave you a sell signal after 2 green, what would be green candles. We still took some heat, but then we just came down. So awesome. Didn't even come close to our stop loss. So super cool. So listen, folks, whether you trade on NinjaTrader or TradingView, we traded all this week on NinjaTrader. Now I'm just showing you because I really like the controls on TradingView for replay mode. But whether you're trading on NinjaTrader or TradingView, whether you're trading crypto, whether you're trading futures like we are right here, you're using a prop firm account, whether you're trading Forex, stocks, options, which by the way, leave me a comment below if you trade options. I trade options every single day after futures, and I have some strategies that are pretty sick using the Maverick indicators. And we're thinking about doing a boot camp, not too sure, potentially going to do that. And I just would love a gauge of you guys. How many of you guys are interested in trading options with the Maverick indicators? But you can see us, we trade every single day futures, and we pretty much put out a video every single day of trading futures and just crushing it with these indicators. So listen, if you want edge in the market, if you want clear vision, folks, we won on Sunday night, we won on Monday night, we won on Tuesday night, we won on Wednesday night, we won on Thursday night. Now, could we have a loss in there? Sure, but like you're seeing, like I can't recreate history, right? The data is the data. The market did what it's going to do, okay? And do we get stopped out here and there every once in a while? Of course, everybody does. Look at Friday's video. We had one break-even trade, and then we had a banger for over $1,000, right? That's a win. That's a beautiful win, okay? But trading is all about winning more than you're losing, and that's really what it comes down to. So listen, if you want edge in the market, if you want clear vision on your charts, never financial advice, do your own research, never any guarantees in any market. The market can do anything at any time. We just try and create these tools that put probability more in our favor and give us edge, all right? So if you want to check out the Maverick Ultimate Edge Bundle, okay, right now it comes with 10 indicators in our suite. It works on NinjaTrader and TradingView. We give you a license for both. And folks, we have 7-day-a-week support, okay? So I don't know any other company, honestly, that has 7-day-a-week support. Whatever industry you're in, never mind a software company like us, for crying out loud. But we would love, love, love to help you crush it this year with your trading, all right? So Monday's gonna come. Are you gonna crush it this week? We'd love to help you. So come check us out, MaverickIndicators.com. That's MaverickIndicators.com.